Look, this brotherhood, it has to do with, we're going to use some words, but it has to do with Phoenician shit. We're going to use that term. The Phoenicians have controlled everything, which would be a phoenix. But they've controlled everything for a long time. Okay? These brains on Earth right now, they don't have anything in their brain except for what's on these signs, what's in these screens, what's coming through these speakers and these radios and these broadcasts of black magic. They don't know who they are. Real quick, from 1200 to 1500, which wasn't too many centuries ago, this land here that we're in was cut off to the rest of the world. And if you've listened to Steiner, he'll tell you, Jordan Maxwell even talked about it. They cut this land off for it to be forgotten, so they can create, what we're in now. But it has to do with this English demon spirit that rules this land, this sub-time spirit. But they cut off all the maritime routes to this land. And then they put a hypothetical spiritual wall around Europe, and then created that fake Christianity. So in time, they can rediscover the world and then sell all kinds of bullshit. But that's what I'm saying. If you can get it in your head, wow, for 300 years. And look, they didn't even melt the shit what I live on top of. That shit was melted not too long ago. There's pictures of the Civil War and there's no trees. Actually, the tops of the trees are sticking out of the ground from where they mud flooded it, and they're saying that those are stumps. And it's like, that's the top of trees. There's nothing around. But they'll tell you that there was so much gun battle, even though there wasn't that many soldiers, that all the trees in Chattanooga and everywhere got burned to the ground. Like, even the stumps, all of it just burnt. And that's my whole point. When these idiots believe that shit, then it doesn't matter what the fuck you say. Then you got to fast forward to the Reformation, with Martin Luther and all that shit. But really all that was them, the same entity that cut this land off to be rediscovered is the same entity that created these Jesuits. They're connected literally to the other side, like a phone call. And I am too. So they created these Jesuits, and then put the bylaws in Latin. Latin was created by them, which is Satan. So they put the bylaws of the Jesuit shit into Latin to where it could be hidden for 200 years while they're setting up everything. They're setting up bloodlines everywhere, and then after 200 years, you see bylaws come out in books of the Jesuits, their degrees and their grades. Anything that happens in this world, anything that is produced, that comes to light, whether in wording or through the screens, has been voted on and has been talked about in a fucking board meeting with demons that control this world. So, within the Catholic Church, you've got some scandal shit going on. Some of these popes figured out some shit, and then one of them that died 33 days literally right after his whatever. There's the Camilla of Saturn. But it's Rome fell on purpose, and then the Vatican came up. It's the same entity. It's the same ones. So they get into these lands, and then they fill them up, and then they water the mines with all kinds of bullshit, and then eventually these countries go to war. They create their printing press, and then they can put all their bullshit into these fake black magic books, and then these fucking stupid dumb goy read it, and it's real. And it's not real. You know. I just want to give you a little bit of that. Fast forward to where we are now. These churches. These churches sell whatever's on TV. The schools too. The universities. Whatever's on TV is what they teach. So it's like with COVID, when it hit, the whole world shut down. You know, it's kind of funny because a lot of the cultures or Aborigines tribes, they're not for meds. They've been there, like they'll say in their documentaries, these Jesuits, they'll say, here's a tribe that's been there 1,000 years, but we showed up with medicine and water and saved them. Now they're dead. They tell you they've been there 1,000 years. They're fine. But we showed up with water and medicine and killed every one of them. Oh yeah. It's the dumbest shit ever. But these seminary schools are not what you think. They're for the Jesuits. Everything that you see is for these Jesuits. And then it's to be mixed in with certain goy. So the goy can go, Matt's crazy. I went to that school. There's nothing wrong with that. It is perfectly fine, and it's for us. Every structure is a Jesuit structure. Every one of them. But whatever comes through the screen, the pastors, they relay that information to the congregation, which is an aggregate of a con. It's a piracy of a con. Conspiracy, it's a piracy. Remember, the word con in black magic is 137, which is the 33rd prime, which goes back to the Kamiya of Saturn. So any word that you see with con, it is Saturn. Demon, black death, Saturn. Concert, they're inserting Saturnian impulses into each city. You see what I mean? Back in the day, we used to go to a shit ton of concerts back before all this bullshit. I remember I was in like fucking 5th grade, running around Crisscross, Salt and Pepper, and hell, Motley Crue, Def Leppard. It didn't matter. You know, and there wasn't no fights. There wasn't nobody getting yanked up and kidnapped or nothing. So if you can go from there until now, what's the problem? The screens. That's the impulses. See, the parents ain't even parents no more. They just go in there and they're cracked out on a screen, and then the child's cracked out on a screen, and then they're both cracked out. And then they come running at me and you going, you're fucking crazy. Just like a crackhead. Take it out of the crackhead's hands. Take the crack. They hold on to that crack, boy. I got crack. And when they're out of crack, take the gadget out of their hand. Crackhead. Crack, 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 crackhead. Crack, crack, crackhead. But they win because these pastors in these satanic demon churches, Circe is the word. Kirke, Circe. Mother Circe, C-I-R-C-E. It's spelled K-I-R-K-E. K-I-R-K, because I'm Captain Kirk. I'm the fucking king of the Enterprise. Kirke, Circe. Because the Vatican, the Pope, is the Enterprise. It's very easy to see this black magic. It is beyond easy. And see, what they do in these churches is, these Jesuit ones, these big ones, they'll sacrifice somebody in a position. And what that does is it brings the aggregate of the con, the aggregate of the Saturnian impulses of the congregation. That's one mind in there. That's not a Jesus mind. These demons kill them. And then they run all these fucking mortuaries and shit. The only reason they were created so they can move dead bodies everywhere. And bring in fake demon experts so that the goy will go, oh, look, he's an expert. They did an autopsy, Matt. You're stupid, Matt. They killed him. I'll never forget that man's funeral, and I'll never forget, he talks to me from the other side. He's the one at the funeral that said, go look into gematria. Because your pastor kept saying, we don't question God. We don't question God. Your Jesuit, demon, fake fucking pastor, we don't question. He said it probably 10 times, and I said, why does he keep saying that? Well, the man's dead. Everybody there never expected it because he was 45 years old, which is the 9th prime, which is the 3rd square. There it goes back to Saturn. They can't question it because he's dead. They're fucked up with their emotions. So this black magic Saturnian fake wizard who thinks they're killing people, but they're not. They're only destroying their whole fucking future, is sitting there reiterating over and over, we don't question God. You're all on pills. You're probably hungover from alcohol. We just slaughtered your family member, and you think that he just died, but he didn't. We killed him, and we're going to repeat this and drill it into your subconscious because you're a weak goy. You're a weak brain. So we're going to stamp into your subconscious the image of God that you don't question God. You don't question Satan is why they did that. I'll never forget it, and I can still see them. My time with them is when I go, but I can tell you this. If you'll Google the movie, watch the movie The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, I think. Okay, they're harvesting body parts. So, but that's what they do here in the open. Okay, when the lady's pregnant, pay attention to this scene. This is the Jesuits putting their scene in there, what they do to us goy. And this is what I'm going to... Look, I've seen the other side, I ain't lying. Especially when I go. They're little nuclear bombs that they think they've made that can go off, and they're so badass. Well, when this transfers back over there, it's like your nuclear bomb times 1,000,000 against every fucking thing you think you've done. Yes, you win for right now, but not deep down the fucking road. No, you don't. Everything will be replaced to its proper place. And you're trying. And you've done well. You've done very well. This grid that you created. It's a hell of a grid. But here we are. So apparently it didn't fucking work. So now we got to deal with MC, this goy cavity. But in that movie, whenever she's sitting there and that lady gives birth, she's holding her feet and they are killing her. And that woman's just looking at her. And the look that she gives is like it'd be like me hitting a driver 300 yards, like, hell yeah! Well, that's them fucking holding our feet and killing us and just going, they're a joke. You know what? Think about it. They have to create fat, lazy, overweight, stupid idiots and then do that to them. What a bunch of fuck up losers y'all are. God damn, anybody can do that. Anybody can make somebody a junkie and then take them out. You're nothing special. Oh, I bet they're boiling right now. One thing they can't do is they can't touch me because it has to do with Saturn. It really does. I've accepted my journey. It's not Matt's journey. It's just like they say, we don't question God. Well, I ain't questioning. There's no questioning. There's blasting. And the crazy thing is these goy are so fucking gone. If you tell them, look, you've been thrown into this world at least 4 times. And every time that you've been thrown into this world, you have absorbed materialistic satanic impulses and you've gone back. So there's nothing. And then you come right back and you become more mentally challenged. And then you go back more dumb and then back dumb. And then finally you're here right now looking at Matt. He's crazy. He's not in this screen right here. It's cause you're fucking retarded. Look at who you are. Look in the churches. It's all obesity, sugar, Mickey Mouse, sodas, diabetes, strokes, heart attacks. That's Satan. And you're inside. And you don't have, they have convinced the Christians that there is nothing behind nature. You know what they'll say? God is. Okay, but you go buy chemicals and kill God. And then you go run to a screen and go run to chemicals, drink them and eat them. Do you see who you are against Matt? You fucking malice ass, dumb ass is trying to catch him on something so you can just Google something and say, see, it's right there. I'm telling you what the fuck you gonna do before you do it. Because you're a stupid idiot. To these people against me. They don't want you knowing about that. That right there. That shit alone will unlock everything in your brain in small doses. That's connected to everything up there and everything out in nature. See, the chemicals you consume are connected to the chemical screens, and they generate diseases in the brain. And then you go, no, hell no, Jesus wants me sitting here eating snacks all day. Yeah, that's Satan. It's a demon. Every bag is a demon. It's a demon. It poisons the earth too. Even the plastic bottles your little medicine in, it poisons the earth, and that's how fucking gone y'all are. Hey, you're not a Jesus person. You're a human being that has been put here to absorb as much materialism as possible, and then when you go, we get your ether, your astral, your ego, your soul and spirit. We get, and you'll say, no, I don't think so. I'm going back to Mickey Mouse. That's the ticket right there, dummy. Go on. But I've had enough of the shit. I've fucking been blasting Chattanooga. Did that video and I posted it and I said, I'm going to destroy you news stations with words. Like I said, the only way to fight black magic is with what? Black magic. I love you.